Hi everyone, my name is Nassim Nkatha. I'm a psychologist and I'm also the CEO and founder of HUGS organization. So what the organization does is we create awareness around mental health. And this month we've been focusing a lot on social anxiety. So our SMM asked me to do this video. Most people don't know this, but I do have social anxiety. So she asked me to do this video to just talk on how I deal with my social anxiety. So for years, for the longest, I've always had this intense fear of speaking in public, social gatherings and all that, to a point whereby in uni I used to hire people to do my presentation. So I would I was more than glad to do all the dog work in terms of research, compile the PPTs and all that, as long as it meant I wouldn't have to stand in front of a class and present. So fast forward to after uni and all that, and then I got into this business of I had to stand and speak in front of people. So I have done a lot of TV shows, TV appearances. I've done talks in front of thousands of people. I've done events, I've done trainings. So the thing is, when you watch me or when you listen to me speak in front of people, you wouldn't know if I have anxiety. But what happens behind the scenes, it's a lot. So how I personally deal with social anxiety is three ways. One, I have a 20-second fear. So what a 20 seconds fear means is for 20 seconds, and I always time myself. So for 20 seconds, I let in the fear. So I panic, I worry, I go through all the emotions, either physical, emotional. What this does for me, the goal for this is it desensitizes the fear, and it also gives me some sort or sense of control. So after the 20 seconds, then I know I'm in charge. So it's a mental thing. So after that, I know I'm good. So again, the other one is a worry exploration. So for the worry exploration, I normally explore the worst case scenarios, the best case scenarios of whatever fear that I have. And yes, and then see, it gives me some sort of contingency plan to know in case of this and that, this is what I need to do. And majority of the time, 99% of the time, is when I do the worry exploration, my worst case scenario is normally not as bad as I had perceived it. So I've just realized I should have let you know what anxiety is. So anxiety is intense fear, intense worry. So there are different types of anxiety, from social anxiety to GAD, generalized anxiety disorder. So this is whereby anything can just trigger your anxiety, from social to whatever. You don't have a specific trigger. And then you have OCD, induced or triggered anxiety. We have phobias, people that have fear of specific things, like agoraphobia, people who are scared of getting outside, animal phobia, whatever. Height phobias and all that can also trigger anxiety. And then the other form of anxiety is panic disorders. So the panic disorders also present symptoms similar to the anxiety. They are so intense, but for a short period, for maybe less than 10 minutes, 5 minutes, and so on. So back to me giving my third thing that works for me. My third coping mechanism is a worry time. So I always set a worry time. So what a worry time does is, let me give the best scenario on when I do this. So let's say, for instance, I'm about to go to bed, and then just when I've hit the bed, now that's when everything is coming to me all at once. So if I pay attention to that, then it means I won't be able to sleep, or it will take me longer to sleep. So what I do is I set a worry time. I tell myself, I even write it down. This is what I'm worried about, and I will worry about it tomorrow at 11 a.m. or 10 a.m. And then when tomorrow comes, I make sure I sit down and do now our exploration on whatever thing I was having anxiety over at night. So what that also does is it helps you do a mental note of what's happening, and then it helps you sleep in peace knowing we will handle it tomorrow, or there's a time allocated for it, so that also works. Other than that, I always like noticing my physical symptoms. So for instance, let's say if I have palpitations or I find it hard to breathe and everything, then I know I need to do a deep breathing exercise before I get on stage, or before I give a talk or a training, whatever it is that I'm doing on that day. If I realize, because at times I also forget what I'm supposed to say. So this also depends on intensity of whatever it is that I'm supposed to do. So for instance, let's say for example, I'm supposed to give a talk on a subject or a topic that I'm not well conversant with. So that means I need to do a lot of research, a lot of preparation and everything. Then at times I'm always anxious that I might miss something or I might forget something. So what I do is I talk to my team. So this is something that we always do right before a talk or an event. So they already know I have anxiety, they already know what I'm anxious about or what I'm scared about. So what happens is my team sits strategically in the audience. So whereby if I know I'm having a panic attack or I'm having that brain freeze moment, I look at them and then it gives some sense of familiarity. So it helps me calm down, it tells me ease. Previously, I used to wear a rubber band and I used to zap myself, and then I realized it does work for some people, but for me it wasn't working that well. So that's why I settled for the 3 coping mechanisms: 20 seconds fear, a worry exploration, and a worry time. And then through that, you can also combine it with things like grounding techniques: 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, whereby you identify 5 things you can see, 4 things you can hear, 3 things you can smell, 2 things you can taste, and then you give yourself 1 compliment, 1 good thing about yourself. So that also works. So what I'm trying to say is anxiety appears different on different people. So the best thing that you can do for yourself is identify what works for you, what doesn't work for you, and then see how to go about it, and also identifying your symptoms, because that will also help. This is what I need to do when this happens, this is what's supposed to happen and whatnot. And also having a support group, because I want to say support group, but also a safe space, a network of people that know what is happening, and at the back of your mind they can easily swoop in and maybe form some sort of distraction as you recuperate. Or I also crack jokes. So when people are laughing, I do a breathing exercise, so it also helps.